Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Look, Wrestling 101, classes in session. Pay attention to the teachings, that's from Andrew and Derek. I mean, these guys making a killing with no competition. Dynamic duo better than the Hardy Boys and the Dudley Boys. Everybody make some noise, mess with them, you get destroyed. They cannot be beat, take a seat. Watch them do their thing on the MIC. Face defeat, they cannot be seen like JC. Oh my goodness, it's a killing spree.
Alfred Stevens, and you're listening to the Wrestling IQ 101 podcast.
Hey everyone, this is Andrew from Wrestling IQ 101. When I'm not hosting our podcast, I'm usually at collarandelbowbrand.com. That's right, Collar and Elbow is the only place that combines wrestling with street attire. And I know what you're thinking, I want to look fashionable too, and I also want to save 10%. So head over to collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code WIQ101 and look fashionable and save some money. And now, on with the show. Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. I'm Andrew, and you can listen to Wrestling IQ 101 right here on YouTube. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. And today, I'm joined by Preacher, man. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Preacher, it's been a long time since we've talked. Hopefully everything is going well, and you're doing okay.
Yeah, man. Doing good. And I hope everything's been going great with you, too, man. Been following you along on social media there, and, so you're doing well, man. I'm happy for you.
Well, thank you. Yeah. I mean, it's a crazy journey, right? You started off as a small little podcast, and you slowly and surely climb these stairs, but we really appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Yeah, and I've been following you for a while, too. Been following your career, of course, and, lately, what have you been up to lately?
Mostly just training. I wrestle when I want to, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of have that luxury at this point where, I if I want to reach out to somebody to wrestle, I will, but it's not a necessity for me anymore. I just do it out of enjoyment at this point, but training has been my passion for, a really, really long time, and I've been relatively successful at it, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. I'm the head trainer at H2O for Matt Tremont.
Mm-hmm.
We have a great program together right now, and we have upwards of 40 students right now, so things are going well.
Yeah, 40 students, that's a lot for a wrestling company, right, to pick up?
Yeah, and the truth is it's really just off of Matt and my reputation. We don't really advertise a lot, although I think, we were going to start doing that soon. We're working on doing some videotaping and that kind of thing, but we really haven't had to up till this point. I mean, we've been open for a couple of years now, and we really haven't had to do much in the way of advertising because people just keep coming. I mean, we had a brand new student last night just sign up. So, and on top of that, we have the Undiscovered program, which basically is a developmental program for our students. And, before the pandemic hit, it was for other people as well to help come and, improve their craft. But right now we're just because of social distancing and wanting to keep everybody safe, we're pretty much just keeping it to our students at this point, at least until everything goes slightly back to normal.
Yeah. You call yourself a wrestling guru, and how does one become a wrestling guru? Is it over time? Is it over experience?
So, yeah, believe it or not, that was actually one of the guys that I had helped out.
Uh-huh.
Had suggested that nickname to me, and I thought it was catchy and fun. And I might be one of the only 3 people in the world that liked the Love Guru movie with Mike Myers.
Oh, yeah?
So I definitely loved it, and I said, yeah, man, I'm going to use that. I like that, and I have been a trainer for about 12 years now.
Okay.
I started out training for the Body Slam Wrestling Organization, and eventually I was running a school with me, Richie Rotten, and Nunzio. We had that school for quite a while until, unfortunately, we lost our building, which, not really much we could have done about that. And then I kind of fell into training at the CZW Academy, and I trained there for almost 5 years. And then Matt spoke to me when I was deciding to leave CZW. Matt had spoken to me about coming with him and starting a school, and so that's what we did. And we've always gotten along really, really well. We're very like-minded in our training philosophies. So so it's been great. It's been really, really a stress-free environment, and very conducive to teaching great students. And I think anybody that comes down to one of our student shows, which is our Undiscovered program, will quickly see just how well our students are doing, because I could not be any more proud of them. I mean, we've got some serious superstars in the making. So and I think the entire country is going to see that pretty soon.
Yeah, what's always interesting to me is when because you're the teacher, right? And then they pair you at a wrestling event against your student, and that happens a lot. I mean, the one I think of is Casey Navarro, right? I mean,
yep.
How crazy is that? Like, this guy, you were in training that long ago, and here he is. He's wrestling on AEW and all these different places, and here you are. I mean, you're literally training this guy, and you're also squaring off with him.
Well, what's funny, man, is when guys get older, I want to say this sensitively because I don't want to offend anybody. When guys get older, they tend to want to wrestle famous guys, before they're done, so that they can, get their last shine in or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really have much of a desire to do that at all. My desire is to wrestle with people that I trained, to get in a ring with guys that I developed, and see how it went. You know what I mean? Because really, like, as a trainer, all I am is a map. I'm just a guide into these people's journeys, and I want to see that journey go to fruition, and I guess getting in the ring with them is my way of doing that. And I've really had the opportunity to get in the ring with a lot of my students this year, and I've really enjoyed that. And that's kind of where it's at for me, man. That's why I want to wrestle. I want to wrestle people that I've either had a hand in developing or that I trained.
Yeah. Because, we talk to a lot of wrestlers, and they have that thrill after coming down from a match or the anticipation of a match where they get the goosebumps. Do you feel that you get that same feeling at the end of a session training somebody, like, oh, wow, we got something here? Or is it just, just going through the motions?
No, it's never just going through the motions for me. I'm somebody that's, I'm very passionate about training. I think about training all the time, and I work on drills, and I work on new ways to reach people all the time. I think one of the things that has happened over the years is a lot of the wrestling schools, will teach everyone the same way. And I understand that theory, and I'm not condemning it or anything like that, but I don't like to teach that way. I feel like everybody learns at their own pace, so I try my best to challenge each and every student in whatever way that they need to be challenged in. That always keeps it interesting for me, and even my students that are experienced, I feel like it is part of my job to show them something new every single training session. That's something that I'm very much a part of and very much enjoy doing. So.
Yeah, and it shows because you're having so many great talents come through H2O. I mean, it wasn't that long ago too that you were stepping in the ring with Valentina, right? I mean, how awesome has she progressed? She
is fantastic. I still remember the first day that she came in and was very shy and, very nervous, just like most young wrestlers are.
Yeah.
And, to see her progress as far as she has is fantastic. And honestly, as a trainer, I'm having a good year. I've got 2 students with major contracts right now. I've got 5 students in the top 500 right now. So, and I'm not to pat myself on the back or anything because, they're the ones that did that. Like I said, I'm just the guide. But it's still a good feeling to know, that you helped somebody along that journey.
Yeah, it has to be. And it's pretty exciting. The last time we saw each other was a while ago, and it was right before, I guess we talked right before you went out there with LSG and Eric Corvus. I mean, what a stellar match that was. I mean, at Synergy Wrestling, they always put on a great show, but that match in particular.
Great.
Yeah, it just stood out.
Synergy's great. I am a big Colin West fan. Colin and I have become friends over the years. Mm-hmm. Very supportive of what he does. I think he does a great job. He's a good person. Definitely a good Fed out there. Synergy is definitely doing great things, and I enjoy watching their shows. I have IWTV obviously because of H2O, but I watch Synergy shows all the time, and I'm constantly hitting Colin up just to let him know, hey, man, I just watched your last show. It was great. As a matter of fact, I just hit him up the other day and let him know that because I just watched the Black Friday show, which was fantastic. Just a really, really good show. And Ellis Taylor had actually asked me to watch it, and I had plans to anyway, but he reminded me, so I watched it, and what a great show. Just really, really, really good. And going back to your point, actually, that match with LSG and Eric Corvus. So Eric and I have been friends for years and years and years, and so have LSG and I. And to be able to get in the ring with the two of them and to have what I feel was a great match, just a great feeling. I really, really enjoyed that, and and I'm incredibly thankful to Synergy for letting that happen.
Yeah, it was an awesome match to see. I mean, and you guys each bring your own different style to the ring, of course. And it is one of the coolest things. I love when you see, well, in this case it was 3 different styles of wrestling, and it matched up beautifully. Colin West does he has his fingers on the pulse sometimes when it comes to different matchups. Yeah,
he's really good at spotting new talent too. I feel,
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, building some of his own talents and some really good stuff. Actually, the other night, watching the Synergy Black Friday show, that was the first time that I had to see the Charles Mason guy that wrestled Ellis Taylor. Excellent young wrestler. Never saw him before. Very, very impressed. He did a great job. That was an excellent match between the two of them.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. It sounds pretty good. I have to check it out myself. It's kind of crazy. 2020 has been a weird year. You made the best of it this past April by watching WrestleMania on the iPad, right, and having a beer and some cigars, right?
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. I don't ever want to forget to enjoy wrestling because I feel like a lot of guys that have been around wrestling for a long time or have been wrestling for a long time, they start to get bitter and angry, and and they'll take it out on young talent, and I hate that. I'm somebody who believes that you should constantly be enjoying wrestling, and so when there's a pay-per-view on, whether regardless of what company it is, I try to make an event out of it. And I have a beautiful backyard. I go out there. I'll have a cigar, a little whiskey, and I'll watch the show, and I will enjoy it every single time. And it's something that I am truly passionate about. Is still being a wrestling fan. I think that's important.
Yeah. Is it kind of hard to watch like AEW or WWE, knowing like if you see like mistakes or something like that, you're like, oh man, I could definitely make this guy a little bit better. You ever get that kind of feeling when you're watching it on TV?
No. I had the opportunity last year to work for the WWE, and that was really, really fun. Mm-hmm. But I would never be so arrogant to think that that I could go in there and fix things or however you want to think of it that way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's very easy as a fan to go, oh, well, they're not doing this right, or they're not doing that right, And don't get me wrong, I'm not mad at fans for doing that, because honestly, it's just like being an armchair quarterback. It's the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's part of the enjoyment of watching wrestling nowadays is being an armchair booker. Saying, man, I wish they used this guy this way, or I wish they did this with this guy, or this person, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's part of enjoying wrestling, and but I think the WWE have some great people backstage, and some great trainers, and AEW the same, and I know a lot of people in both those companies that are in those positions. So, I think they're doing a great job. I think really the bottom line of it is you can't please everybody. Yeah. And as a fan, I think fans have to understand that I don't want to be condescending in any way, but they don't know as much as they think they know. Mm-hmm. Fans see a wrestler that they like lose, mm-hmm. and they immediately go, oh, well, they're burying that guy. Well, no, that's, wrestlers can lose. That's not the way it works. And if you want to see how it works, well, get to a wrestling school. We'll teach you how it works. But otherwise, I'm not saying you can't have your opinion. Of course, have your opinion. Please enjoy wrestling. But what I am saying is maybe lighten up a little bit.
Yeah, sure. When you see somebody wrestling on TV and you see them do something good, like they hit a maneuver like the way you taught them, does that make you kind of smile inside? Like, oh, I remember when that person couldn't get it, and now here they are, and they're nailing it. Or even if they're not on TV, they're just in a match, and does that make you feel good?
Oh, of course. Just seeing people's progression, even wrestlers that I might not have had anything to do with mm-hmm. necessarily their progression. Like I used to be part of the Dojo Wars program, with me, Gulak, and MLJ, and Ace Delic. We had developed that program to help talent develop. And seeing guys like MJF, guys like Max Caster, guys like Leo Rush, all those guys going through that program and then getting to where they wanted to be, just getting to see that is really, really fun. But to answer your question, seeing somebody that I had a hand in developing get there and really get it, really understand. Yes, it's incredibly exciting. As a matter of fact, there's probably nothing more exciting for me anyway.
That's pretty awesome. If you can go back and you can pick your match, which one of your students you're just itching to get in the ring with? If you had to pick one in front of all the fans and everything was back to normal.
You know what? I've been in the ring with a lot of them. Uh-huh. The one student that I would love to get in the ring with, and he already knows we've already discussed this, mm-hmm. The opportunity just hasn't arisen yet. I would love to get in the ring with Jordan Oliver. I really feel Jordan is one of my favorite wrestlers, and not just because of his wrestling, but just his attitude and the way he looks at the business and the smart choices that he makes, and how much he helps other wrestlers. I'm a big proponent of giving forward. I feel like in the vast scheme of things, I might not ever be, famous for what I do. However, in my little circle, I feel like my guys know the contributions that I make, and they know that I want them to make similar contributions. I want them to be a positive force in wrestling too. If there's one thing that I do want to be remembered for, mm-hmm. Even if it's just in my little circle, that's what it is. It's to be a positive force in wrestling, to be somebody who was always bringing something positive to the table and not negative. Because I feel like there's way too much negativity in wrestling, and not just wrestling, but in the world today. And the less that we promote that, the better.
Yeah, Jordan Oliver is a fantastic pick. I actually told him, I was like, if Owen Hart and Pete Dunne had a baby, I'm like, it would definitely be you, because there's definitely qualities of both guys in there. Yeah, I love that too, because he comes off so sly as a heel and so cool, and even when he's just, you could just tell he's having fun when he's just, and either, whether it's MLW or CCW when he was the Wired champion, things were just incredible. So yeah, it's crazy to see how far he's come in such a short time too.
Yeah, well, in all fairness, that's all him. I mean, he is an incredibly hard worker. He is incredibly focused, and I don't think he gets enough credit for being incredibly smart. So yeah, absolutely, I couldn't agree with you anymore.
Absolutely, yeah. You alluded to this before. You worked for WWE for a little bit.
Yep.
You got to be on air with Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre. Now, Shane McMahon's the boss's son. I mean, how nerve-wracking is that?
I'll be honest with you, man. I don't want to sound like arrogant or anything like that, but I don't really get nervous in situations like that.
Okay.
I really don't. I will tell you that I am not somebody who signed up for extra work. They called me. The WWE called me and asked me to be there that day.
Really?
They called me last minute, and they asked if I could get the arena quickly. That they had an idea for me, and the idea didn't pan out. So that's not important. But but I got to have a really fun time there, and to see some people that I hadn't seen in a long time, and they were incredible. And it was just a really, really good experience for me. And and maybe somewhere down the line I'll get that experience again. Who knows?
Yeah, that must.
More importantly, hopefully some of my students will.
Yeah, it was a huge opportunity for you, because I remember I saw that and I was like, "Oh crap, this is awesome!" That was cool.
Yeah, that was a fun day, man. I got to tell you, and that was all because of a friend of mine, Richie Rotten. It was all because of him that happened. He was my original trainer, and he's the one who had recommended me, and it wound up being one of the most fun days I've had in a really long time. So
yeah, that's cool when you your trainer paid it forward to you, and then you're paying it forward to your students, and you just see the cycle just kind of continue, which is really awesome.
Yeah, well, honestly, man, that's where it came from. Honestly, Richie is not only one of my best friends, but he is the inspiration for that. I mean, he definitely taught me that, to pay it forward. I mean, we used to do when he had BWO running on a regular basis. We used to do these big charity shows, and he wouldn't even keep the money that it cost to make the show. He wouldn't even keep that money. He'd give that money to the charity too. I mean, he was that's just the person he is, man. And and I think a lot of people don't see that because his exterior is rough, which I would say probably the same thing for me. But if you get to know him, he's just an amazing person, absolutely amazing person.
Yeah, at the beginning of the program, you alluded to liking The Love Guru. What movies would people be surprised that you like, or what kind of music do you think people would be kind of surprised that you're into?
I'm into a lot of new music, which I guess an old fart like myself is not supposed to be. I love Machine Gun Kelly. I love Youngblood. There's a lot of new rock bands that I'm into. There's this band Slaves and another band Movements that I really, really like. And a lot of my students and I actually have similar tastes in music, so we're always talking about music and stuff, But movie-wise, you know what, man? I'm not... I like all different kinds of movies for all different kinds of reasons. Like my daughter and I enjoy watching sad movies together. So that's some way that we bond. We watch that, and but I enjoy the movies that I think we all enjoy. The Marvel movies and the DC movies and the John Wicks and stuff like that. I enjoy all that stuff. If there's one thing I know in my advanced years, it is you got to take the time to enjoy those things. To enjoy a good movie, to enjoy a good sunset. And take the time. It's important.
Yeah. Scrolling, doing some research, you had the opportunity to meet one of the all-time greatest, Nick Bockwinkel. How was it meeting him?
So I not only got to meet Nick, but I wound up becoming pretty friendly with him towards the end of his life. And I got to tell you, for me personally, that was probably, like one of my favorite things about wrestling, is getting to spend time and have conversations with a genius like Nick Bockwinkel, with a genius like Terry Funk, having the opportunity to sit there and, have a drink with those gentlemen and just talk shop and, the Carl Lauers and it's really been a great experience. The Cauliflower Alley Club is something that I've been part of for years and years and years, and they do reunions out in Vegas, and for quite a few years we had gone every year. Unfortunately, since I got hurt, I have not been able to be there as much as I would like to be, but I hope to change that again soon. But great organization, supported me when I got hurt, and just a really good opportunity to learn and to meet, the guys that you want to meet. I mean, I had the opportunity to have an outstanding conversation with Stone Cold Steve Austin because of the Cauliflower Alley Club. So, just a lot of cool opportunities because of them. So, yeah.
Yeah. So consider me officially jealous now that you have to actually sit with Stone Cold. That's pretty cool.
Stone Cold was incredibly nice. When he found out that I was a worker, literally ignored a line of people that was waiting to meet him so that we could have a conversation, and it was pretty cool, man. It was pretty awesome.
That is pretty cool. I listen to his podcast all the time, and
it's great, right?
Yeah, it's great, but he's so honest and so real. Like sometimes he's like, oh yeah, he's like, somebody hit me and I damn near pooped my pants, and I'm like, that's not the badass Stone Cold I want to hear. I want to hear you clicking some beers and giving some fingers. But yeah, he's so honest. And you can tell, even with all the success that he's had, he's still just a regular one of the guys, right?
Absolutely, just a normal guy.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people in wrestling at this point, and I can honestly say that I have met far more nice people than I have crappy people. Don't get me wrong. There's been some crappy ones, but they are far outweighed by the cool ones.
Yeah, and whenever I meet somebody who's a little off, I always got to think about like maybe they're just having an off day or something like that, and but yeah.
So I got a story for you, and this is something that. That had happened to me when I was younger. When I was younger, I was a musician, a touring musician. And I won't mention any names, but a friend of mine was in a relatively famous band, and I remember reading in a magazine that a girl had met him, and that it was one of the worst experiences of her life. This guy was a piece of crap. He blew me off, totally was rude to me. And then seeing the date on the day that she met him, and she met him at Newark Airport. And I knew him really well. We were friends. We still are, actually. So I knew that girl didn't know that the day that she met him, he was coming home because his brother had killed himself.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, he's not going to say that to her, and she just thinks he's a dick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you never know what people are going through. You got to give them the benefit of the doubt. And I try to tell my students all the time, even if you meet somebody the first time and they're a jerk, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're a jerk.
Yeah.
We all have bad days, every single one of us. And you gotta take it with a grain of salt. You're meeting people all the time. And I'm sure there's people that I've accidentally blown off that I didn't mean to. But sometimes you get busy or you get in your own head, and the next thing you know, you're being rude to somebody that you really didn't want to be. So
yeah, and yeah, it's crazy how. And I'm sorry for your friend's loss. I mean, that was pretty terrible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, we're talking a really, really long time ago. So, obviously, it's still awful.
Yeah.
But I mean, he was going through something there, and she didn't know that. She just thought, hey, man, this was my opportunity to meet somebody, and he blew me off, but from the other perspective, too, you got to keep in mind that, every fan that you meet could be the next superstar. They could be the person who 10 years down the line is going, hey, I'm a star because of you, because I saw you at a bingo hall when I was 10 years old, and I couldn't get enough of what you were doing, and that made me want to do what you do. You know what I mean? So, it's important to respect fans and respect, the meetings, and not just just blow it off, which I feel like a lot of wrestlers just take fans for granted,
Yeah, and it's always true. You always meet the same people as you do going up as you do going down. Yeah. So I mean, everybody, just be cordial to each other and respect each other. And but Preacher, it's amazing to see all the things you've been doing, all the students that have been coming through the H2O facility and
Thanks, man.
and other places. If people want to get in contact with you or they want to get in touch with the school, how do they find you guys on social media?
So you can reach us through the H2O Academy on social media, or you can reach out to myself, which I'm Phineas James, Phineas with an F, so it's Finneus. James, and that's on Facebook. You can reach me there. You can reach out to Matt Tremont. If this is your dream and you're looking to get there, I think we're going to give you all the opportunities that you're looking for. We have a completely comprehensive developmental program that will take you from the beginning to all the way till you're ready to get your contract. So, absolutely, please reach out to me, and any wrestlers that that have questions or need advice, I am absolutely here for you. I am not somebody who is now or has ever been in this for the money. So, if you need help, I'm here to help you. So,
I love that, man. I love that you bring the player coach vibe, and I love that you were able to take some time and talk with us here at Wrestling IQ 101.
It's my pleasure, man. I was happy to hear from you.
Yeah, and of course, Wrestling IQ 101. You can listen to us right here on YouTube. You can follow us again on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And everyone, will see you on the next edition. And be safe.